I have a lot of things to do when I leave here, and it's do research and try to bring our audience the truth on a lot of stuff. You know, we're the truth squad sometimes. So, bombshell revelation last night from John Dowd, Trump's former lawyer, comes out and says that the Mueller report is a fraud. That Mueller himself said the document speaks for itself. I talked to my great friend and unbelievable, world-renowned attorney Lee Armstrong, who told me the term is res ipsa loquitur, for the thing speaks for itself. That's what Mueller said. I'm not saying anything else, okay? But John Dowd comes out and says that the Mueller team, in the Mueller report, mischaracterized his statements. Here's a transcript of what the Mueller report says John Dowd said in a conversation with Mike Flynn's attorney. John Dowd voice. I understand your situation, but let me see if I can't state it in starker terms. It wouldn't surprise me if you've gone on to make a deal with the government, redacted. If there's information that implicates the president, then we've got a national security issue, so you know, redacted. We need some kind of heads up. Just for the sake of protecting our interests, if we can, redacted. Remember what we've always said about the president and his feelings towards Flynn. So for some reason, those preparing the Mueller report, we don't know who, but Lindsey Graham says he's going to find out who did that. They redacted the exculpatory parts of that transcript. And let me show you and read to you exactly what John Dowd said. And you could see why they fiddled around with it to make sure it sounded really bad when the things in there that made it sound really not bad were redacted. Here's the actual transcript from Devin Nunes' Twitter feed. Hey, Rob, it's John again. Maybe I'm sympathetic. I understand your situation, but let me see if I can state it in starker terms if you have. And it wouldn't surprise me if you've gone on to make a deal to work with the government. I understand that you can't join the joint defense, so that's one thing. If, on the other hand, you have information that implicates the president, then we've got a national security issue. I don't know, or some issue. We got to deal with not only for the president, and this was redacted, but for the country. So then, you know, we need some kinds of heads up, just for the sake of redacted, protecting all our interests, if we can, redacted again, without you having to give up any confidential information. So the Mueller report tells one story, that Dowd was kind of asking Flynn's lawyers to do a solid for the president. And the true story that they forgot to put in the Mueller report, because they redacted it, is Dowd was saying, if you made a deal, great. We don't have to protect the president's interests. We got to protect the country's interests. And I don't want you to give up any confidential information. So, Frank, you tell me what you think about this. I think it's crazy.
I think this is incredibly damning, and I wish I could say that I was surprised because, believe it or not, and anybody that's been an observer of federal criminal trials will have seen this firsthand for themselves. This is par for the course with U.S. attorneys and assistant U.S. attorneys in every district in this country, whether they're appointed by Republican attorneys general or Democratic attorneys general. Overzealous federal prosecutors repeatedly mischaracterize the evidence. And I've seen it before, and one of the great things about this whole Russia probe is that now my friends on the right are seeing what so many of my friends on the left have seen for years, which is that prosecutors will do absolutely anything to get a conviction and make the people look guilty, even if it means omitting exculpatory material in transcripts. This happens all the time, and we need to get serious about reining in our Justice Department and our federal prosecutors.